Hello, and welcome to my Screencast-O-Matic reviewing weeks 6 through 9 for our methods class. So the weeks, these last few weeks have obviously been primarily about writing instruction and preparing for task 2, the writing instructional unit. But not only are we getting a lot of information about writing instruction, but the structure of these last few weeks have closely mirrored the writing process itself. So as we're learning about the writing process and teaching these strategies to walk students through the writing process, we ourselves are actually being brought through the process as well. So a good example of this would be, let me see if I can figure this out. There we go. So in week 6, we talked at length about why literature matters. We started with learning the difference between aesthetics and efferent literature. And then we spent some time reading various texts about why literature matters. And we were assigned these texts to read at home. And we were actually assigned to make a word map or a mind map, which is a graphic organizer that's recommended by many authors during the brainstorming process. So essentially, we're told that students need an opportunity to kind of develop their thoughts, and graphic organizers are a good way to do that. So there's an example of how some of the writing process has been applied in the structure of the last few weeks of our methods class. In week 7, this is right after we posted our task 1, the reading instructional unit. And so we were asked after that really stressful experience to kind of return back to our why, and reflect on our progress and our experience so far. And he threw in a hero's journey sort of parallel. And this is kind of a tip of the hat to what Burke refers to as time for reflection. So we're told that students need an opportunity to, after completing a writing assignment, to kind of reflect on their process and their progress over the process. So this was the kind of parallel to what we're told should be implemented in our writing instructional unit. And then we were given kind of a rundown on what to expect for the writing unit. And we were assigned the initial readings for the writing instruction, Burke, Gallagher, and Anderson. In week 8, again, we're kind of applying some of these strategies or techniques in writing instruction in class. So we're put together in groups and we're asked to discuss our ideas of where we might go with our writing instructional unit. So this is referred to in Gallagher's writing as talking a paper out. So students are supposed to be provided an opportunity to kind of verbalize their thinking before the writing process begins. We're also provided sample. We were also provided sample writing instructional units, and we discussed them at length and kind of went through them with sort of the scientific method that Anderson talks about in his book. These serve as model texts that can guide a writer through the writing process and kind of help them to understand the expectations, and but should be used sparingly and carefully because, of course, that Grecian urn that Gallagher talks about. So, and then we were given some more reading. Murray, Yago, and Anderson. They were assigned for that week. In this last week, there was a lot of focus on the revision process. So we sat in small groups and talked collaboratively, and sort of provided our peers with revision suggestions. And then we did the Play-Doh activity, which essentially paralleled the revision process, asked that we add and subtract and somehow change the structure of our Play-Doh creation. Um, yeah, so that was essentially that's a rundown of our last couple weeks in our methods class. And I'm guessing, I would assume that tomorrow we'll be doing some more peer editing, or at least I certainly hope so, since we are bringing in our drafts. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.